Hello and welcome back to Onto the Ball. I'm your host Scott Nichol and I'm joined as always by James OB and Travis Morgan. We're here to preview Leeds versus Manchester United on Sunday.
Yep, Sunday.
And it'd be rude not to talk a little bit about Man United versus Leeds last night when Leeds went 2-0 up. And me and Obi were like this straight on the group chat. Travis was nowhere to be seen. But it was painful in the fact that I don't know about you, OB, but when I was watching the last of the Happy Valley, but I just kept checking my phone and it went 2-0, and unfortunately I knew they'd come back. I didn't
Yeah,
think they'll still win, but I thought they won't lose, and that's
Yeah.
testament to Eric Ten Hag and this squad at the minute, Trav. That I don't know what you were feeling, but when Liverpool are 2-0 down at the minute, I know we're dead, buried. You should stop watching. So what kind of emotions were you going through at 2-0 down, and why did you not come on the group chat?
I'll be honest with you. No, seriously, I didn't feel very well from work, and I just got a quick shower, got straight into bed, and went under my quilt in the dark. I had a fat raging headache from work. That was my genuine, honest feeling. And I thought, do I put the game on my laptop and just have it by my side? But I didn't put the game on, to be fair. And then literally, I was like in and out of sleep. I didn't watch the game. And woke up and it was like already 1-0 because they scored really early. And I thought, oh, this is going to be the one game where we just sort of like drop. I know we dropped against Palace, Leeds, against Palace and Arsenal, but I just thought the games have just been coming so thick and fast. One unexpected result was going to creep in, and I thought, especially when we went 2-0 down, this was going to be the game. But I've seen a few of the highlights over the course of the day and stuff, and it's pretty much what Ten Hag said. Like, we just started both halves really sloppy, and Leeds is a game, as you know, no matter how many sort of injuries and suspensions we've got, we should be winning, especially the game at Old Trafford. There's absolutely no excuse for the result itself. But like you said, I just love everything about sort of what this team and this manager sort of displaying in terms of the character that we're showing. Definitely 2 points dropped. As I've said, there's no way getting around that at all. But to come back from two nil down is a positive that we can take from the game going into Sunday, and we probably are going to be a little bit less, I would say, complacent and a little bit more cautious about how we approach that game now. Definitely going to pay Leeds a little bit more respect than probably a lot of the fan base, including myself, paid. I thought we'd be quite comfortable at home. But to find ourselves 2-0 down was a really, really a big uphill struggle. Just talking in terms of the actual personnel and the changes that we made in the game. Obviously, there was no Casemiro, and again, as you know, with Twitter and other sources, that it sounded like we missed him badly.
Because he's the best player in the world now, according to Man United fans.
Well, he's our only actual natural, say, holding player, because he's so good on the ball as well, in terms of like starting the attacks from deep. But he's our only natural defensive midfield player we've got. And Fred was the one that was trying to be at the base, trying to receive the ball off the centre halves and be that one who sort of instigated the attacks. And it's not his game. I think you saw that for long spells under Ollie next to McTominay. Neither of those players are natural sixes. They can't really dictate the tempo of a game from deep. And as soon as Casemiro was out and Fred went into that role, it just like left gaping holes because Fred naturally he gets attracted to the ball, he wants to hunt, he wants to press. It's not really his game to sort of be disciplined and be behind the ball all the time. And it's not really his fault, but that just goes to show, like, I know we spent 200 million, but with the injuries to sort of Ericsson, the injuries to McTominay, the injury to Van der Beek, and obviously Casemiro suspension, it has left us a little bit light in sort of that defensive role. And I think it's something that we will address in the summer with a couple of players maybe going out, which I think will be Van der Beek and McTominay.
I got to admit, I looked at the starting lineup. OB, I don't know about you, but I thought on paper that looks crap. I seen Fred, Sabitzer, Veghorst, and I'm not saying I predicted that Man United were going to drop because they were at OT. So I was still confident you get the job done. But yeah, when it went 2-0 down, I thought sometimes football is that simple. I looked at the
yeah.
lineup and I didn't fancy it.
there is a lack of depth there, I think, and Trav's talked about it on a few occasions where if you lose a key player, there's not really someone naturally to come in. I think that's where teams like City and that benefit. And I know they've hit a bit of rocky form lately, but they literally just replace like with like, and you don't get a drop off in standard or very small drop off in standard. But if you ain't got Casemiro in a team, in that United team at the moment, I think it's a totally different outfit to play. And they will struggle in football games without him. They really will. And they are relying on a player like Rashford in an amazing amount of form to bail them out on quite a few occasions, which is great for them. But it does hide as more of an underlying problem in as much as Casemiro doesn't play and he's going to pick up a lot of yellow cards. He's going to end up getting suspended. He's going to pick up the odd red. We've seen that already. That's part of his game. He's probably start getting injured more, and United need to make sure they have somebody ready to fill them boots, really.
Trav, did you echo mine and Obi's sentiments when we seen the side? Did you think maybe the squad isn't as strong as I hoped it was? And who's going to be back for the game on Sunday? Obviously, Casemiro's still banned. Eriksen's still injured. What about Martial? Where's Martial? Was he on the bench even?
No, he's injured. I don't know what's up with him, mate.
Is Martial just injured all the time now? I feel like it's Groundhog Day, isn't it?
Pretty much, yeah.
I thought he was having his breakthrough season for the 7th or 8th year running.
Yeah, I know. He's still breaking through, I think. He's still break through.
I remember when he broke through in 2015 and he scored that goal against us, and everybody's going, that's him, he's going to break through, this guy's going to be a player. Yeah. And you see little bits of the talent that he's got, but every so often it's just like, that's not enough. You know what I mean? It's just, there's not enough consistency, and he does disappear for large parts of the season, whether he be on the pitch or not. You know what I mean? Whether he be injured or whether he just becomes anonymous. So it is quite interesting. It's strange because I see a guy with the ability there, and that's what's probably going to haunt him in the back end of his career if he doesn't now do something with it.
Absolutely.
I think when you're injured that much, part of it has to be a mental thing as well, like playing through the pain barrier. I just think it's impossible for it not to be related to that slightly. Like there will be occasions where he's not played and we've not taken a risk on him due to him saying he feels he can't play. But I just don't think he's got that oomph, that, like, it's not a desire to play, but like he's never really had pressure from the centre forward position at United, and that's been the thing. Like, we've always had washed up players, older players who are sort of past their best, like the Cavani's, the Igalos, the Ibrahimoviches, the 1-2 year deals that we've never really had that guy up top since Van Persie that said, right, if you don't play, we've always sort of, like, when Martial plays, he makes a difference. And it's like, that's why this summer is just so important that we get that top ST. We just need that top striker, because we can't keep relying on him being that main man if he's just going to play a handful of games. There's just literally no point carrying him. It's similar to when we had Louis Saha at United. All the talent in the world, but just could never stay fit. Martial fits in that mould.
Is that lad from Napoli the one then, Trav? Is he the one that you want and the one that you think fits the way you play?
Yeah, I personally think so.
Have you unfollowed Trav on Twitter then, Obi? Because he tweets about Osimhen 10 times a day, so
no,
must be the one.
I'm just following through. He's really buzzing about him.
Yeah, I do like him. I think we just need that complete centre forward. Like, as much as Martial's so good at linking play with the likes of Rashford and the players that we've got, the Antonys and stuff like that, sometimes you just need someone that you can just slide in 1v1, a little bit of a powerhouse, a little bit of variation to his play. And I think that's what Osimhen brings. He can go in behind, he can come short, he's got that physical stature where he can cross it. There's not sort of one angle that you can't approach with him. I mean, if you look at Erling Haaland, I know people are starting to question whether he fits City and stuff like this, which is
absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. But like, if you look at the types of goals Haaland scores, he can score all types of goals. Like the only ones I haven't really seen him score is if he's blasting it from 25 yards, like under no pressure. That's not what I've really seen him doing yet. But I'm not judging him on that. Do you know what I mean? If you slide him from behind, he can score. If you toss it in the air, he can score. He scores tap-ins. That's the kind of striker I want. Just a bit of a bully. Like I want someone physical up there.
Have you not just described Harry Kane though?
I have described Harry Kane. Yes, I mean, look,
Harry Kane's a weird one. You two know my feelings on players approaching 30 or just turned 30. For me, it's too little, too late. But on the other hand, he could easily do a Robin van Persie and push you on for a league title. But in terms of Ten Hag's plan, which must be spanning maybe 3, 4, 5 years, Harry Kane is the wrong option, surely. And he'll still cost a pretty penny, won't he? You're still talking 100 mil plus.
Well, he's getting towards the end of his contract. This is what I'm saying. It's almost like the point where he's broke that record. And is he now in a position where he just wants to go and win some trophies? Doesn't want to end his career with nothing to his name? And are United that team to go and help him win stuff? Because I think Ten Hag could sell him the dream. And I think Kane could go. I think Kane could go to United. I really do.
How long has he got left on his contract?
A year. Yeah, it'll be a year in the summer.
No, surely not.
I just think I don't know. Like, I do like Kane. Don't get me wrong, I really do. But like, I don't know. Like, if you look at Spurs' makeup in Kane's later years now, even for England a little bit, he's dropping really deep. But if you look at like the England team and the Spurs team, you've got a lot of runners. Not just one runner, they've got a lot of runners. And I'm talking like Sterling wants to run in behind. You've got Son that likes to run in behind, Mora, Kulusevski, those types of players. And he's sliding those players in. And Kane's still getting on the end of things and scoring a lot of goals because he's just such a good finisher, naturally. But like, if you look at United, we don't really play like that. Like, we haven't got lots and lots of running in behind like that. So that's the only question mark for me. Like, if Kane comes to United and drop deep, we already play against a lot of low blocks at Old Trafford. Is he going to suit the style 100%? Don't get me wrong. I think he would come to United and score goals. Don't get me wrong. But like you said, in terms of that ultimate option, I just would prefer a little bit more of an Osimhen type than Kane. They're both fantastic players, and I would be happy with either. But my preference would definitely be Osimhen over Kane.
So it's like Kane's evolved his game in the last 2 years, hasn't it? Dropping deep. And that was the influence of Mourinho being at the club. So what you're saying, basically, he'd have to turn his style around 180 degrees to go back to that front foot striker again.
But he's got that in his game. He has got that in his... He was playing against. A lot of the work he does off the ball will not always get noticed by your casual fan who tunes in on Match of the Day. But I think for a guy who can drag a team out of position, especially in bigger games, and especially against your likes of he likes scoring against City, he always causes City a problem. And they're the sort of games that I imagine Ten Hag's got a pinpoint. He's got to have an option to win these big games if he wants to crack on and win the league in the next couple of years.
I think it's criminal as well. Like, Spurs have already come out and said they're not going to sell. I just don't think the deal will materialize based on that fact either. I just can't see. I think it would be unforgivable if United finish in the top 4, especially if United finish above Spurs and Spurs don't get in the top 4 and then they sell Kane to United. It will cause an absolute uproar. I just can't see them entertaining that deal unless Man U are going to stump up a load of cash. Obviously depending on contract length, but I can't see him costing anything less than 100 million, to be honest. I really can't. Like,
it'll all depend on whether he has got only a year left or 2 years, won't it?
Yeah.
If he's got 2 years, then Spurs hold all the cards, because
and he's been linked with Bayern heavily as well.
Yeah, Because who's going to be sniffing around when he's 31 and out of contract? You know, that really is, well, for me, that would be past last chance saloon. But now, if he's only got a year left, then of course, Harry Kane holds all the cards. He'll either sign a bumper deal with Spurs or he'll go for a knockdown price to someone like Man United. But, I mean, I'm just playing devil's advocate. Obviously, I want it all to go tits up at Man United. Of course I do, because I'm a rival. But if they sign Kane, who's nearly 30, they put all their eggs in the Casemiro basket, who's 31 now. To me, Liverpool's problem is they've got an aging squad who are in their 30s, early 30s. To me, I think that would be a mistake, and I would be going all out for Osimhen if I was Ten Hag.
I've just had a look. 2024, his contract's up. So in the summer, he'll have a year left. So I imagine if anybody's going to move, it'll be in the summer.
That's mad then. Yeah, it's now or never for him, really, isn't it?
Exactly, yeah.
Let's get on to Leeds versus Man United then, Trav. I just looked at your team. You've got a lot of injuries. So all of a sudden, when you drop points at home, games start looking a bit difficult when you look at your injury list. Are you worried away to Leeds? Surely they're going to have the wind in the sails and think, we took a point at OT. We're going to take all three back at Ellen Road.
It's funny you say that because I saw a tweet yesterday saying new manager bounce is the scariest thing in football. It just tickled me.
Have they got a new manager?
No, they've got
manager list, didn't they?
Yeah, the manager list. They've got like one of the assistants was taken over. Chris Armas, who was under Ranić at United, literally just is taken over for a few games until they get a replacement. To say I'm worried is a bit of a stretch. I'm not worried about the game. But certainly after, like you said, after yesterday's result, Leeds are going to be full of confidence going into that game and sort of know how to play against us. I think we'll have to approach the game a little bit differently. Whether we change personnel or not, I don't know. But like you said, we can't afford to start the game the way we did in midweek. They've got some pace in wide areas, which caused us some problems in the game, especially down our right hand side against Dalot.
Who's that lad? Ngotto or something?
Yeah, Ngotto.
That was a great goal, wasn't it?
Only 2 million he cost or something.
Stop it, Trav.
Honestly, mate.
2 million for Ngotto, 2.5 million for Mitoma. We might as well just wrap up.
Why do we have to pay 70 million every time we get a player? Every single time?
Because I think what these teams do is they take a chance on these boys and they bring them in, and they probably think, look, there's a 60% chance we're going to get it right. So for every one of them players, there'll probably be 3 or 4 that haven't made it at all, and we never hear about them because they come in, they drift around the club, and they swill off wherever, you know. So I think they play the percentage game, but it's still worth playing if you think if you bring in 5 players for 2 million each, and one of them pays off, it's still worth it, isn't it? But they're just playing different level of financial politics and playing the game at a different financial level to the big boys. Because as soon as we come in, there's a Liverpool or there's a United tax or there's a City tax or a Chelsea tax or an Arsenal tax. It just adds a zero to whatever you would normally pay for them.
Yeah.
Sometimes I feel like Liverpool, I don't know if Man United are the same, but we can't be bothered with the red tape, trying to mess around with work permits and stuff. I remember seeing that we were linked with Alisson 5 years before we signed him, but it was work permit this, work permit that, and he went to Italy. It's a bit annoying. But let's get straight down. Pressure on Travis first. What's your score prediction for Sunday? And a few of our viewers have noticed that you are on fire, Trav, with your predictions. In fact, I can't even remember the last one you got wrong.
I can't remember either, boy.
You've nailed them all. You nailed the correct score every time.
I'm gonna go 2-1 United. I think it'll be tight. I really do, especially after what happened last night. I think we'll make a change up top as well because, like you said, Weghorst, he's been doing okay, but I think in a game like that, it's going to be frantic. He might use his experience, but I think now with the form Sancho's shown since he's sort of come back into the team, I think it'll be a good time to start Sancho. I'd like to see probably Rashford up front, Sancho on one wing, and if Antony's back, him on the other side, or if not, maybe Garnacho, Sancho and Rashford. I think maybe the fluidity will benefit the team a little bit more, especially as we have not got Casemiro in midfield feeding it. I think we'll just need some pace and some tenacity in the side. with that. And I think Sancho is sort of full of confidence as well. So I'm going to go 2-1 United. I'm going to go for another tight game. I think their wingers again will cause us a lot of problems. Hopefully Wan-Bissaka's back from illness, because not necessarily that I prefer him to Dalot, but I think his pace is going to be important in fullback areas against their wide players. And I wouldn't even be surprised if you saw Malacia come in and give Shaw a little bit of a rest. All depends on how the legs are feeling. We played a lot of games. Got Barcelona on Thursday after the Sunday, then straight into Leicester. It's relentless, and we've got to try and use this squad as much as we've got some deficiencies in certain areas. We've got to use as many of these bodies as we can, and he won't admit it, but he'll have one eye on that EFL Cup final. He'll want to win that. I know it's a day out for a lot of people, but I think for him, in terms of a confidence boost for the manager, I think it will be a big, big boost if he can add a trophy in his first season. It's going to add a lot of confidence to the rest of the season and the running for the top four, because it's tight. Like you said, Newcastle win their game and they go back above us. Spurs, who looked not out of it, but they were flagging a little bit. That City results re-galvanised them. I think they won their game before as well. They're coming back into it. Like you said, Liverpool have got a couple of players fit. It's not looking like Liverpool are going to get top four, but you just never know with Van Dijk coming back in, Jota getting back to fitness and stuff. If you put a little run together, you just don't know. So again, we've got to be on our mettle from now to the end of the season.
He's got to utilise the squad, and I bet he still doesn't play Harry Maguire. OB, what's your prediction for Sunday?
I'm going to go for 1-1. I think it'll be a really tough game. I think for all the same sort of reasons Trav's talked about. I think that there's it's an interesting mix of the teams. They both seem to really want to go for it, but Leeds are very, very energetic, and they've still got that sort of energy and fitness levels from the Bielsa days. Marsh, he tried to be a little bit more controlled in the way he was doing it and not flogging the players to death, but a lot of them boys are still there, and they're very, very fit, and they're good one-on-one individual battles on the day. He's added a little bit of talent, like we say, on the wings, and it does seem to cause some problems. But I would say 1-1, and I would also say it's not a terrible result for United to go away there, because I think Leeds are in a false position and are better than the position in the league table is currently.
It's a weird one, because it's probably a game that sort of suits the away team a little bit more. Because obviously with the crowd and it being a derby, there's a lot of pressure on the home team to take the game to the other team. I think that might actually suit us a little bit more, that we can play on the counter-attack a little bit and like soak up little bits of pressure at that time. And I think
the danger is without Casemiro, that won't be as easy to do, Trav, and that's what I'm kind of thinking. It's probably a draw written all over it.
I'm going to go 2-1 to Leeds, just to be a little bit different. So we've got 3 different results. Sometimes when a manager leaves, it takes the shackles off the players, doesn't it? Because sometimes when a manager leaves, he'd lost the dressing room. So they might not have been putting a shift in. Now they might have been rejuvenated themselves, playing under a new caretaker boss who maybe they like. So yeah, I'm going to be a little bit different just for the crack. 2-1 Leeds and marching on together. Right, boys?
Hope I can keep my streak going.
Yes, I hope not. Right, lads. Thanks for your time. We'll be back probably Tuesday night, because Liverpool play Monday night, with a review of the weekend's football. See you then.